welcome back to another polygel nail design set. So these little beautiful blues are a collab set, which I must admit I completely screwed that up. I will definitely get into how I screwed it up, but they did still turn out very pretty. I'm collabing with Nails by Nelly. This is her YouTube, and then this is her IG page. I definitely want you guys to check her out. Here are a few photos of the set she did, which was a fall theme set that I completely screwed up. But let me tell you guys about her. She is one of the most supportive people I have ever came across. I know her for a little while now. I met her back in the Facebook group, and so do forgive me, but I do call her Nelly Nails. Although her name is Nails by Nelly, I do call her Nelly Nails. Okay, so I met her back in a Facebook group a little while back, and we just tend to have a fairly good relationship. But I tend to watch the majority of her videos on YouTube, and I must say she is so supportive. Every video I have watched of her, she's always given some sort of shout out, love, support to somebody different. It's like every video she recognizing somebody for something, and I absolutely love that about her. Especially because in this nail industry, a lot of people, they'll get to a certain point and they just kind of forget about all the people that was there with them in the beginning. And that could be a little annoying. So I definitely do love that. I definitely admire that. But I admire her for that. Yeah, so I definitely want you guys to go and check out her YouTube channel and her Instagram. I will put the links down in the description. But okay, so let me get into this set. Here I am using blue. The intentions were, when we spoke on this collab, I had said, hey, let's do a fall set. I have these leaves that I want to use, and let's do a fall set. Now me personally, I don't like to do trend nails, so I was like, let me do blue. So I used this little blue from Landfo. This is one of the blues from their older kit. Their older kits are the kits that I seem to like the most. Their newer ones just don't hit like the older ones do. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, let's use this blue to create a fall set. And so I'm just going to add that blue onto that nail bed here, as you guys see. Just kind of pat it out. I didn't have any issue with this polygel at all. It's unfortunate that I didn't get this particular kit a second time because I absolutely did love the kit. But for the video's sake, real quick, I am only going to record the pointer finger and the middle finger because all of the nails were pretty much the same. So there's no need to drag it out in the video. But okay, so back to the fall set. So I'm like, let me just do a blue fall set, and because I do see blue fall sets, I do, but I just wanted to be a little bit different. And then you guys who follow me know that I tend to do a lot of color blocking, so it's like, let me try to make something happen. And so with this particular blue, I was still feeling it. I was like, I can make this into something, and so I'm just gonna drag it out there, kind of slant it over, and just kind of go with the flow. Right, so I did all of those, cured it. Here's where the problem started coming in at. So this is a More Vans. It's like, P10 is the number. It's like a white with a tiny hint of blue in it. The blue is very, very faint, so it does give off more of a white color. Now, the problem was, once I started using this color, I felt like it started giving me winter vibes, started giving me like Christmas time. But I was like, I still can make this happen because I'm going to use leaves. And so all I'm doing here, which is the same thing I'm going to do on all of the nails, is just connect it to that blue. Now, with this particular tube of polygel, I didn't have any issues with it or anything. It wasn't runny or sticky or anything. It was very nice to use. This blue, I actually had this light blue I had for about 2 years now, and I think this is the first time I ever actually used it. But again, it was no issues with the polygel. Now, I want to say something because I get asked often, how do you know how much polygel to use? And I don't. As you see, I had to go back and add some more. So I think depending on the set and what you're doing would depend on how much to use, because I oftentimes will either use too much and have to wipe some off, or I'll add too little and have to go back and add some more. So I think you just kind of got to gauge it and just kind of go with the flow. All right, so we just gonna go ahead and connect that to that nail, and then I did all of them and cured them. Now this clear here, I have used this a few times before. This clear is absolutely the clearest clear I have used. Now let me say this, before I got this particular tube, I did feel like Savvyland clear was the clearest. For a while I didn't have any issues with it. It was too runny for my liking, and so I didn't really bother to use it. But since I came across this clear, this is the only clear you guys will ever see me use again. It is very, very clear. I have used this in my last few encapsulated sets. Only downfall to this clear, it is a bit sticky, and that can be annoying at times. And so what was that? I think Agile Beauty's clear. It is not as clear, but that is the best clear I ever worked with when it comes down to the consistency. So if you're just looking for a clear with that's really, really nice to use, no problem, I definitely recommend Agile Beauty's. But if you're looking for that crystal clear, that glass clear, see-through perfect clear, this is the clear. It is sold on Amazon. I will add that down into the description for you guys if you're interested in purchasing it. All right, and so now, okay, I'm encapsulating, so I add that little bead of clear on there, and I'm going to start adding these leaves. And so as I was adding the leaves, I'm looking at it like something not quite right with the leaves. I just couldn't quite pinpoint what the issue was, but I was just like, this just not giving me fall at all. And because I was on the time schedule, I didn't really have time to redo it. And so at this moment, I was like, it's not fall anymore, but I have to keep going with the flow. After I had posted these, somebody in my Facebook group was like, oh, pot leaves. And I did not know that they was pot leaves. So on my social medias and stuff, I had to go back and correct it, because I thought they was blue maple leaves, and that's why I was like, I'm gonna do a fall set because they was blue maple leaves, and apparently they are not. I definitely just recently learned that. I don't smoke or use pot, so I just didn't know. I had to actually Google it and realize and see the difference in the images of a maple leaf and this leaf. But here it is. I'm kind of stuck with it, so just gonna keep going with the flow. All right, so all I pretty much did was added a little bead of that clear on there. I do have to readjust my form sometimes because they do pop open, but that's not a big deal. I'm adding that clear. Now, what I really, really wanted to make sure was with the clear, because it is so clear at times, it is hard for me to see where the clear is. And so I was just really trying to make sure it was connected to that light blue, just so when I removed that form, I didn't have an issue with the nail breaking at that point. So I'm just adding a little bit on there, very, very thin, patting it down, smoothing it out, and then just kind of dragging it to a slant. I was keeping with that whole slant style for this set. And so again, added some more of those pot leaves. Yo, I just feel so stupid after the fact, because I'm like, I should have known better. It was like the look and color of these leaves, I just knew something wasn't right, but I just could not pinpoint what it was until somebody told me what it was. So I definitely feel stupid for that, but whatever. They done now. So again, I'm just gonna add them little maple leaves, and what I was trying to do was just add them on there without them really overlapping, because I wanted it you guys to be able to see each leaf individually, on top of being able to see how crystal clear that clear was. And so now I'm just going to take some tweezers and just kind of rearrange them into, I like the setting and the placement of them, adding more. Something that works the best for me when adding chunky glitters is if my brush or my tweezers have a little bit of polygel. The leaves, well, in this case, the leaves tend to stick better and apply to the nail a lot easier. But went ahead and did all of those. So now I am doing a encapsulation, and so in my mind, this is how I kind of process it. So for you guys who like just starting out and whatnot, a good way to, I guess, form in your head what encapsulation is. I like to look at it like a sandwich. So the first bead of polygel will be the bottom slice of bread, and then you put in your meat, cheese, or whatever it is that you're putting into your sandwich. That would be the glitters, and then the top layer of clear, which would be the top slice of bread. And so that's just maybe a way for you guys to kind of help remember the steps or process when you're encapsulating. You use a one polygel or acrylic at the bottom, your glitters, and then add more on top. Okay, so I was just trying to show you guys how clear that was. You see that? I kind of froze it for you. Like, you can see each and every line from that foam through that clear. I absolutely love this stuff. Just wish it wasn't as sticky. But again, I'm just doing that same process, squeezing a fairly large bead, taking my brush, dipping it in some of the alcohol. My brush is very wet, not soaking wet, but it is very wet. Again, this polygel was sticky, and so when the brush is a bit more wet, it helps to glide the polygel a bit better. Here's another tip too. When you're using, so if you're using a sticky polygel, try adding a little base coat on top of it, and then go ahead and continue with your slip solution. That helps with they sticky. And also, if it's a sticky polygel, patting it and tapping it works a lot better than smoothing it for when it's a sticky polygel. So hope those two little tips will help you guys out. Now here, this polygel, it was like a glitter, and like I said, at this point I already knew I had screwed up, so I was like, let me just keep on going with the flow. And so this was a last minute add-on. It was just something about this glitter that I felt it would go really, really pretty with those leaves. Again, this is a glitter blue. I had this blue for quite a long time also. I don't have too much of an issue with this polygel. Now, I do have some of them. Some of the darker colors tend not to cure very hard in the middle. But overall, I didn't have any issue with it. This particular glitter blue was a lot looser and a little more runnier than the other colors that I used in this set. But overall, I don't have any issue with that particular brand. So all I'm doing is just ending the nail, just connecting it to that clear, finishing up the nail, bringing it down to the square. I personally only feel like I can sculpt out square nails, and so I always just kind of square them off at the end. And then I did that on all of the nails. Here they are. Now, once I removed the foam, the only one that was uncured on the underside was the glitter blue, which is shocking because I definitely thought that that white one or that light blue was going to be uncured, because a lot of the white polygels I use, or white base polygels I use, tend to not cure all the way through, and they also don't tend to don't cure very hard. But yes, I'm going to go ahead and clean that underside. For you guys who have been following me for a while, I definitely like the underside of my nails to look just as good as the top side. And so I take that extra time after removing those foams and just make sure all the colors are back in place, everything is smoothed out, and then cured it. Alright guys, I wanted to slow this down right here for a little bit because I wanted to talk about this brush for a second. I have used this brush, I believe, for the last 15 sets. And do you see how that brush bounced right back into its shape? So if you guys are looking for a good brush, I definitely recommend them. I will also put those in the description. And it is a multi-pack, and they come in a variety of sizes. So if you need a good brush, those are the brushes for you. Alright, so here's the nails. Now I'm just going to do like a real quick file. What I am going to do pretty much right after I post this video, I am going to do a video just on my filing routine, how I file down all of that bulkiness and stuff and get such a clean shape. Now, let me say I am not the best at shaping. My shape do be off at times, but I do want to take you guys on that ride of how I file my nails, because back when I first started doing nails, I could not find a really good video on how to shape and file nails that was like really bulky and thick and out of whack. And so yeah, I wanted to do that. Now, since then, I have seen a video on YouTube that does very well, an amazing shaping video. But again, I want to do one because my nails tend to be like really lumpy with a lot of dips and lumps, and I do want to take you guys on that. Here's a tip when shaping: just line them up cuticle to cuticle, and then make sure they come down to the same length. But all right, so here's the nails afterwards. I'm going to use these clear rhinestones. I am going to use 3 different sizes. And then these charms. Now, the rhinestones, charms, leaves, I got them from AliExpress. And then we're going to go in with this bottle of Vanillisa top coat. I don't use cuticle oil, so I like to use this Young Nails protein bond around my cuticle area, mostly because it just removes that ashy look. I don't like to use the cuticle oil, and this is a way for me to get that little crusty, ashy look out of those nails without having to put a bunch of oil, because I don't use oils on my hands at all, just lotions. And so this is a way to still get that shiny cuticle look without having to use the oil. I already did those 2 nails. Again, it's the same process. Now, what I will say, I have always been a huge fan of Vanillisa's top coat. It is my favorite. That's the only brand that I use to do my sets. Now, with this particular bottle, which I have used it before, but I guess I kind of forgot. But this particular bottle, it is thinner than the other bottle that I tend to use. But this one have like an odd smell to it. It's so weird because the other bottles, I have quite a few of their other top coats, and they don't have that smell. It's just this one particular bottle. So that was weird to me. But yeah, I'm just going to take those little charms. They was like triangles or something with a little rhinestone on it, and I kind of just flipped them upside downwards, and then just went in with 3 different sizes of the clear and just kind of went around it and put them wherever I felt that it needed it. Now you guys know, like, I absolutely put bling on my nails, but I absolutely hate this process. Now, what I will say, another thing about Nelly Nails that I love about her is that she does a lot of bling. But what I love is that she will use anything for bling, like earrings and brooches and pins. And I have never seen anyone else do that. I just love that creativity. It just goes to show that you could put anything on those nails. And I love that she had taught me that. So I'm definitely going to use some earrings at some point. But here's the nails after they are all finished and completed. Here's a better video. At least I thought it was a better video. But I want to thank you guys so much for taking out the time to watch my videos and share and comment. And I truly appreciate you guys so much. You are definitely helping this channel grow. And I will see you guys in my next video.